It is your Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. That's brand new stuff from the band Papa Roach. Good stuff there. And on the phone right now, we've got the bassist, main songwriter, main musician, the main dude, I'll say, in Papa Roach. It is Tobin from Papa Roach. Tobin, how are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Just enjoying my time at home before I have a busy year touring all over the world, you know?
Sure, and this is a rare time for you, man. You guys are really just, you haven't taken any break, have you? I mean, you guys were on the road for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then took enough time to record a record, and you're getting ready to go back again, right?
Yeah, we just got back home from, we did Japan. We're going to go do Australia. We did Russia. We did Scandinavia. And we're just going to do it all over again next year, going everywhere.
Sure. Now, I had the chance to catch you guys on the last tour. I've seen you several times, but I saw you on what I think was probably one of the more memorable times that I've seen Papa Roach. That was a year and a half ago, I guess it was, at the Rock on the Range Festival. Man, you guys were out of control on that day.
Oh, wow. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's a great festival. I mean, I think that's like one of the biggest ones in the States now, so I can't wait to do that again. Anytime we do a big festival like that, and, you know, it's like there's a lot of great bands playing with you, and all of your peers are there, and you're on a big stage. I mean, that energy, we feed off of that energy, and, you know, it always makes us step it up even more, you know, so it's like we're playing like a 200%.
Sure. Now, and the one thing about when you guys played, at least at that festival, and I've seen you a few times to kind of get that this is kind of an ongoing theme with you, you don't really have to be a Papa Roach fan to enjoy a Papa Roach show. You guys really feed off that energy, and, well, I guess the question is, what is it about the audience or playing live or whatever, what is it to you guys that really brings that out? Because, like I said, you don't have to be a fan to dig you guys' shows.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so funny because I hear that a lot, and so it almost makes me like wonder, like, what is it? Like, do our records suck? or is it just that we're so good looking that when you see us live, it's like you just love us that much more? I don't know.
Sure.
Can't figure it out. No, for real, it's. I think it's just the honesty, you know, and the passion, and the way we perform, the way we come off live. It's. You know, we're at the edge of the stage, man. We're trying to get as close to, you know, the people in the front row, you know, the crowd. We feed off of the energy. We're super aggressive and in your face live, and I think people can just see it. You know, it's just a real thing. You know, we're not like phoning it in. It's not like we're just standing there shoegazing. You know, we're getting into it.
Right. Definitely, man. And at that particular show, you know, then Jacoby just kind of took off on you guys for a song or two. He was up in the rafters, you know, singing and
I mean,
with everybody.
It's unpredictable. Great. It's unpredictable, and it's, you know, it's spontaneous, and it's the energy's there. I mean, you know, we'll make you laugh, we'll make you cry, we'll make you want to fight, we'll make you want to fuck, we'll make you shit your pants. I mean, I don't know. I've seen it all.
Right.
At a Papa Roach show.
Right, definitely, man. Well, dude, let's talk about the new record a little bit. Let's dig into that. You guys' albums, at least in my opinion, you guys are always very consistent, but with every single release that you've had to date, you're not so consistent that you're like AC/DC consistent. You definitely throw in unique twists and turns with every single one of them. There's like a little change here, maybe a production difference here, maybe some songwriting things there. But you guys always do something different. Does that come from growing from album to album musically, or is that more of something that you actually work purposely on doing to keep things fresh creatively?
Well, I think if you were to listen to Infest when we were very young and, you know, naive about, you know, making records and songwriting and whatever, just youthful energy. Even when we made that record, and even, you know, records before that nobody really knows about, we were always kind of on that same trip. I mean, everyone knows Papa Roach is kind of like that melting pot band where it's like, you know, we have hip hop influences, we have punk rock influence, we have pop sensibilities to our music, we have metal riffs, we have, you know, all those things kind of going on, and it's like we always try to travel around, you know, exploring different things for every song, and not every song comes out sounding the same. And we grew up, you know, totally like influenced by bands like, you know, Faith No More, and, you know, bands like, you know, Deftones or the Red Hot Chili Peppers, you know, early on, you know, Jane's Addiction, like stuff like that. I mean, those bands never, you know, played music kind of like AC/DC. Like, I love AC/DC, but, you know, when you've heard, you know, a couple of AC/DC songs, you've heard most of them, you know?
Right.
So, you know, and I think, too, since our songwriting has just become better, it's like we do kind of consciously say, hey, you know what, we kind of did a progression like this on the last song. You know, what if we, you know, flipped it up and did something a little bit different, you know? And that's just how we are. I mean, that's just, it's conscious, but it's also a natural thing, too.
Sure, definitely. Well, for the new record, F.E.A.R., F-E-A-R as it is referred to, you guys pretty much decided to reinvent the wheel from what you guys have been doing for the entire recording process. You went to a new place. You all went back to old school, living under the same roof. You know, how did all of these changes impact the creative element when you know, A, got to Vegas, and B, started working?
I mean, pretty much in every way. You know, from the people that were there with us, you know, making the record, to how we recorded, you know, each instrument. It was a completely different environment and just a new recording way for us. I mean, we showed up at the studio with nothing pre-written. You know, everything that we've done in the past, we've always been together as a band, you know, for a couple months, you know, writing songs, having everything done and prepared to walk into a studio to record it. Where this time we showed up, you know, never had worked with Kevin or Kane Trickle before. Only spoke on the phone briefly and met a couple times when we played in Las Vegas. And just showed up and said, hey, you know, we got a chorus idea. That's it. And they're like, cool, let's build a song around that. So we sat down and we started with that, and then just kind of, you know, created the verse and structured the song. And we always get everything done musically first, and then we give it to Jacoby, and he listens to it over and over again and writes lyrics to it. And once we got to that point, we just moved on to the next song musically, and then it was just a snowball effect, you know. And we were super focused, and, you know, we had a creative flow. It was like, I think anytime you get the four of us together and we're super, super focused, you know, there's no distractions, we're all on the same page, we're all feeling healthy, and we're feeling creative, and we're working with people that we've never worked with before. That kind of, you know, having their input, it was like everything was refreshing, you know, because they had never worked with a band like us. I mean, they kept telling us, like, wow, this is totally different for us. And we're like, this is totally different for us because we're plugging straight into the computer and using, like, virtual instruments, you know, and amp modeling. Like, we didn't even bring our own guitars or our own amps, you know. Wow. We're just, like, plugging straight in using different techniques and recording, you know, more modern approaches that we had never done before. So everything was completely new and different for us.
Sure. When you work like that, does that really give Kevin and Kane a like almost like a creative piece to the puzzle because they know that infrastructure so much better than you guys do?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think you have to. The reason why you pick a producer is because they do things a certain way and they work a certain way. So you can't really come in and, like, try and change that. You kind of have to just accept it, you know, for what it is, and trust that, you know, the outcome's going to, you know, be great. So, you know, I think we trusted them, and the vibe that we got from them right off the bat was great. You know, once we heard the first song back, we were like, okay, cool, sounds good. Let's do that 12 more times. You know what I mean? But, you know, not the same song, but you know what I mean, like that same work ethic and flow, creative flow, and it just ended up working really good. I mean, there's probably a few things that we'd like to do different on the next record, but I'm sure they feel the same way, you know, just because anytime you're working with someone for the first time, you're kind of feeling it out and you try things and you know what works, what doesn't work. So next time it's going to be fun. If we do work together again, which I would love to work with them, we'll probably try and switch it up somehow.
Sure, definitely. Now, one thing that I've read in a couple of places about the new record is that it's very personal for Jacoby, as the lyricist and the singer. What about for you guys as the band, musically? What makes a song personal to you? Because obviously most people gravitate to the lyrics and try and relate it to their own life. But as a musician playing the music, what makes a song better or worse for you? And does this album have any stronger personal appeal to you than past records?
You know what? That's a funny question. I've never really thought about that. But to be really honest, no, not really, because for me, it's really about, like, the music part is just, I'm just trying to create an emotion, like a feeling, like whatever's on my brain or in my heart or at my fingertips. It's just like, it just comes out, and especially when the other guys, when we work collaboratively, it's like everyone is kind of setting it up for Jacoby, and then he kind of it's just weird because that's how we work. Is it's the music first, and then he listens to the song over and over again, and he writes lyrics to the music. So it's really like once the music's done, I'm like I hand it over. You know what I mean? I give it to Jacoby, and he does his thing on it. And once the song is completely done, we hand it over to the fans, and I have no emotional attachment to it anymore. It's not mine anymore. It's for the people, for the listener, to take it and do whatever they want to do with it, admire it, make fun of it, fucking, cry to it, dance to it, all that stuff. I mean, it's like, and I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next. So I don't have like these emotional attachments to the musical part, but the song as a whole, yeah. I mean, there's certain songs that really definitely grab a hold of me, and I'm like, damn, that is, that's like heavy, super, because you can always, we know each other so well. We've grown up together, and we know everything. It's like, man, I remember how you were feeling or how we were feeling when that was going down. You know what I mean? So there is always a special memory, like, because we know what a lot of the songs are about that maybe some of the fans don't. So
sure.
So there's some pretty heavy shit in there.
Absolutely, man. Now, one of the things about the last touring cycle for the Connection was this was I don't know if it's the first ever, but it was definitely the first in a while, we'll say, where Jacoby was really trying to get his health in order, get his sobriety, or get his habits in order, we'll say. How did that change the entire touring environment for you guys, both on stage, obviously, but more importantly, during the other 23 hours a day that you guys were all together, for 2 years?
I mean, it's different. It's definitely different, and it's just like it just created a healthier, overall, more focused vibe. Where, I mean, in our younger years, I mean, it was pretty reckless, and I really honestly don't know what we were doing half the time. I mean, I just hope we didn't like offend anybody or upset people or come off, as like, that band. You know what I mean? It was just like, and but really it was like, I think the biggest thing was just the fact that it's like, how did it affect our families? Like, we weren't, when you're not taking responsibility because you're for certain things because you're too busy, high or drunk all the time, and you just don't care, and you find yourself with this black cloud kind of following you around. It gets kind of depressing, you know what I mean? So for all of us to kind of be able to like talk about things together and kind of clean up our acts a little bit, be more aware of, things around us that maybe aren't healthy, it just makes everything better, and more hopeful and enjoyable and more creative and focused and healthier. I mean, I think that's why we're going to be able to do this much longer and survive. And I mean, nothing ever changes live on stage. I mean, we're still this the same, reckless, rambunctious, crazy, wing nutty, music lovers that will always be on stage. That'll never change.
Sure.
But, we might not, just be doing ridiculous shit all the time just because we're bored on tour,
Right. Certainly, man. Now, but the one thing that is interesting, though, is and moving back to the record, it's very clear that Jacoby's mindset is different now. The songs are not, they're just more up. And I don't know any other way to put it lyrically, but they just seem a lot more up than past records. When he changed as he has, how does that impact you and the other guys, as far as what you guys do? Because obviously if he's singing a happy song, you can't write a down-tuned, mid-tempo glum song. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's okay with, with us musically. I love creating different emotions, and I love creating hope, in music, hopeful emotions, spiritual, feelings, giving people something that's, it's like when we were young, it's like this teen angst, and you're like, fuck the world, but it's like, why? Like, why are you mad? Like, what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? And here we are, in our 30s, not these like young punks anymore. And it's just like, you've dealt with, life, and you've gone through so much. It's like, how do I make life better? How would I become a better version of myself? How do we create hope for other people instead of just screaming, I'm angry and you're angry, let's be angry together. That's like, let's kind of put this like message of like, you know what, you're not alone. This is how we can pull ourselves out of this funk. This is how you can, feel more alive, and whatnot. And it's just like, yeah, there definitely is kind of a spiritual awakening in kind of theme going in this record. And I think to have that positivity is great because, you need that.
Right. Sure. And you can feel it listening to the record. I mean, they're just everything about it. Not that, you guys have never been a depressed band. I think that has a lot more to do with the punk influence in you guys. Has always been more attacking than depressing. But there is a definite new vibe on this record that really has not been there pretty much since Infest. It just seems like seems like after Infest you weren't as excited. You were a little more serious, and now this one seems like you guys are excited again. That's outside looking in, but that's kind of what I see.
Yeah, no. I think part of that comes from the fact that we were so new and naive, and everything was a new experience for us coming into Infest. And then once Infest happened, and there was a lot of success with that record, and after that, our whole lives changed, and you're exposed to the music business, the ups and downs, the transitions and everything that was going on. And, along with all the, substances and nasty shit that was crawling in our veins and infecting our attitudes, we probably did go through a dark spell. And now that, we've kind of matured as individuals, as people, it's like, this is where we're coming back into, really enjoying and loving what we do and trying to find even more of a purpose, as to why we're here.
Right.
And how we can connect with our fans,
Mm-hmm. Certainly, man. Well, one of the things that, no secret, you guys have been officially around for 15 years, and I'm assuming with the history before Infest, you've probably you're at closer to 20 at this point. One thing that we all know is that most of the bands that you came up with, they're either gone or they've pretty much fallen out of relevance at this point. But your band has really been able to stay strong throughout, trend changes and musical landscape changes and the whole business turning over, into what it is now. What do you attribute that to, that you guys have been able to stay, pretty much as a popular, good selling band?
I would like to think it's, because of, we write good songs and we put on a kick-ass live show, and we always keep our records fresh and new, for our fans. It's never the same, record over and over again. Whether they love it or hate it, they're always like, oh, okay, I know that they can expect what we're going to do, next to be something a little bit more adventurous than the last one. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, are we just stubborn and we just keep going and we just never give up? And
little bit of you guys being stubborn and a little bit of the fans just not letting go, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Excellent, man.
I mean, we've always strived for that longevity, So we always wanted to we always strive to do better. So it's like we never got lazy and just kind of sat on our ass and was just like, oh, let's just take a couple years off and make a whatever record. We're always really trying to do something great and do something better than the last record.
Sure. Well, 2015 is when the record comes out, right at the beginning of it. And with that, I'm going to imagine that you guys are going to be quite busy for the entire year. So what does 2015 look like for you guys?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, we start right off the bat, beginning of January, we're going out with F.E.A.R, which everyone knows we'll be touring the States. After that, we're going to go to Australia. We're going to be touring Australia, New Zealand. We're going to the UK. We're doing all the big festivals in Europe. We're pretty much just trying to do what we set out to do was just get in front of as many fans as we possibly can, people all over the world, and just, spread the love and the music and have a good time. And hopefully we'll be coming to Canada, South America, all of our favorite places, Mexico. And we just got back from Japan and Russia. It was amazing. We had amazing shows, so I can't wait to go back there. I mean, we play everywhere, so we're on tour a lot.
Right. Never stops, does it?
It never stops, and you know what? We have fun doing it. I mean, we all get along, and we have a great time when we step on the stage. It's like just that shot of adrenaline, It's like we could be having the shittiest day, or whatever, and be tired and cranky, whatever. But the minute we get on stage, everything is it's just full on. You know what I mean? Like that all goes out the window, and we're just doing what we love to do. And so grateful for it.
Excellent, man. Well, dude, I got to ask you what's known as the traditional classic metal show question. We ask everybody this. It has nothing at all to do with your band, but I'm going to think that you might have an answer anyway. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
Oh, man. Lemmy, to be honest, he makes me want to, I always like to have my mic stand a little bit higher than, right, a little bit taller than me, and with the microphone pointing down. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've always thought that it was cool. So Lemmy does that. And he turns up really loud. Like, he's definitely on 11. He's probably on, 13 or 14.
Right.
But he makes me want to turn up louder.
Excellent. Sure. Excellent, man. Well, dude, if people want to turn their home stereos up or their iPods or what have you up, the end of January is the time they can do it, where they can hear the new record, simply called F.E.A.R. It's Papa Roach. And Tobin, before I let you go, man, what am I missing that you want people to know, or web addresses or plugs and all that stuff?
PapaRoach.com. I mean, you can find all the updates there, and you'll see the new record's coming out January 27th, Face Everything and Rise.
Excellent. All right, man. Well, dude, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing track. You can pick something from the new record or something from anything in the past. What would you like us to end with, and maybe tell us a quick story about it?
How about the first song that we wrote to this record? It's not a single. I mean, it's not like any of the songs that anyone's probably heard. It's called Just As Broken As Me. Can you play that yet, or do you have to wait?
Well, I have it, so I guess I can play it.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we should wait on that one then. I guess just play Face Everything and Rise. I mean, that's the single. We want people to hear that one. So I think that's the one that's probably safest to play.
All right.
The record's not out yet. So.
All right, then we will do that. Check it out. It is the title track from the new record, Face Everything and Rise, F.E.A.R. It is Papa Roach right here on your Classic Metal Show.